Hi everyone, welcome again to another Fascinator tutorial. Today we'll be making a disc fascinator. You'll find the items you need on the screen for this tutorial. Alright, the first thing you're going to do is cut out the paper mat you want to use because this fascinator is flat. That's why it's called a disc fascinator. Just picture a CD disc. I have dampened my paper mat and I do that because dampening it will make it easy for me to stiffen, and I'm going to use less stiffener. But when it's dry, sometimes if you're a beginner, you keep piling on stiffener, you don't know when to stop. So that's the gold mat I'm going to be using for this tutorial. Alright, so after putting it down, you now have to pin it to your fascinator block. So the first thing you do when you're doing a wide brim is pin the first 4 points. Picture a cross sign and pin the first 4 points. That's what I'm doing in the video. Just watch. So I've pinned the second one and I'm going to do the other sides now. I'm sorry if the video is too fast. I just wanted to make it really short, not too lengthy. And again, thank you guys for always watching my tutorials. I really am very grateful. Please don't be a stranger. You can find me on Instagram at Zofa Headwear and on Facebook Olufemi Adu and at Zofa Headwear. You can also join my Fascinator Hat and Headpieces group on Facebook. Alright, so I'm done with the first 4 points. Now I'm going to just pin round. Just watch. It's really easy. Making a disc fascinator is like one of the easiest type of fascinators to make because the fascinator block is flat, so there are no bumps. You're just doing it one way, and that's exactly what I'm doing in the video. I'm using my thumbtacks on the fascinator block. And if you need to reach me, my number is on the screen. You can reach me from any part of the world. Yeah, my WhatsApp number is on the screen. Okay, so I am done tacking. Now I want to attach my alias band to my fascinator. My fascinator is dried and I've removed it from the fascinator block. So, and I've also lined the inside using satin. Can you see how pretty that is, that pink? So now I want to attach my alias band to the fascinator. So, in Nigeria here, we always have problems with electricity. So this is the way that I attach my alias band with the candlestick, the glue candlestick when there is no light. I light a candle. That's the actual candle you use in the house. And then I put the glue candlestick, like I burn it. Just watch what I'm doing. Like it's really simple. You have to improvise. We don't always have lights in this part of the world, so sometimes when you don't have lights, you just improvise. Like I burn it really close to the candle. Can you see? Burning it very close to the flame. Don't burn it on top. So you just burn put the glue candlestick very close to the bottom part of the candle. That's the only way you won't get black looking candle. So that's how I use my glue stick when there's no light in this part of Africa. By the way, I am filming from Lagos, Nigeria. So if you're in Lagos, holla. Alright, so I'm going to attach that glue to my alias band. And then attach it to the fascinator base. Just watch what I'm doing. Now the reason why I'm doing this is because I also want to stitch, but I want it to be glued on the fascinator before stitching. So that's what I did. Yeah, so you can see it's staying. So the next thing I'm going to do is stitch using my fishing line and my needle, big needle by the way. So you have to be careful when you're doing this. Alright, so I'm done stitching, and those are the feathers that I want to use in designing my fascinator. And I also have some cinnamon strips that I'm going to be using to wrap the edge, the stem of the feathers here because it's rough and I don't want it showing. So I'm using yoohoo gum on my cinnamon strips to leave them to dry. Then I'll leave them to dry a little bit because I'm going to use them to wrap the edges, the stem of that arrow feather. So like that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so for this fascinator, I'm also going to be using an ostrich quill. That's what an ostrich quill is. Yeah, you can see I'm trying to think of, okay, how am I going to design this fascinator? So I'm using an ostrich quill. I'm going to be attaching that to the fascinator base. But to do that, I have to make a hole in the quill. So I'm going to use my needle to make that hole in the quill, just like I'm doing in the video. Yeah, so just watch. If you don't want to struggle the way I'm struggling, you can just put a needle, like use a lighter and bond the needle a little, and you just pierce the ostrich quill and it's going to create that hole like really really fast. So I have created the hole. Now I'm going to also sew, or rather stitch that ostrich quill onto the fascinator base. I did a lot of stitching with this video, as every millionaire should, but if you're stitching, you have to ensure that you hide your stitches. So now I'm covering up the stem of that arrow feather, short arrow feather that I'm using to design my fascinator. I'm wrapping it with cinnamon strips. You can see that bias strips. I'm sure most of us know how to make bias strips, but if you don't know how to make them, I think I have a video somewhere about that. Okay, so I'm done. Now I also want to stitch my feather to my fascinator base. So watch what I'm going to be doing from here. Yeah, so I'm trying to determine how I want it to look. Okay, so I like it. Okay. And I'll also be adding pearls to the pearl bead to the fascinator because I don't want it to be plain, you know. I want it to have its own ceramic. Yeah. Okay, so let the stitching begin. So you see I've stitched that to the fascinator base. When you're stitching, ensure that all your stitches are in the middle, in the center of your fascinator base. That makes it easy for you to cover up the finish up with if a disc, that fluffy disc, a be felt disc here. So see, I've attached the second one too, and I just said to attach some pearls again to the fascinator. Now I want to cover that part, so I'm using a wadding. I don't know if you know what a wadding is, but a wadding is a felt like material. Tailors use it a lot. I'm going to be using the wadding to cover up that middle where I did my stitching, and also where I used the candle gum to attach the alias band to the fascinator base. So I'm doing my trick again. Actual candle with the glue candle gum. I'm going to burn it a little bit and then just use it to attach my wadding. Just watch what I'm doing, like it's really easy. Okay, so you see I'm attaching that to the wadding, and then I'm going to use it to close up that part that I stitched. So the excess, I'm going to do the same thing to it. I did that off camera. Now I'm back. So now I need to seal up that part, and I'm going to be using a trimming to do that. Watch me apply yoohoo gum to the edge of the fascinator base, and when I'm done, I'm going to put the trimming. With yoohoo gum, you have to wait a little, maybe 3 or 4 seconds for it to dry, then attach whatever it is you want to attach to it. And that's what I want to do right now. Okay. Okay, so for this month of June, I'm going to be doing a lot of crinoline fascinator tutorials. So if you love crinoline, but if you don't love crinoline, you should also watch out for my tutorials, because after I'm done, you're going to love crinoline. Sorry, I had to attend to the little one. Yeah. So I'm just, aha, I'm done now. Okay. And our fascinator is ready, sealing up the edges, and that's what it looks like. Isn't that beautiful? Watch, just look at me in the picture. Yes, yeah.